embrace what's approaching. The supreme moment, reality striking closer than it seems, don't it? Go ahead, it's for the taking if you want it. If not, the dream dies and you'll be forever haunted. Then confront it.
Good morning, everyone. I woke up a little bit earlier than normal just so I could get the grind done and testing before going into work this morning. So again, I did finish up the awakening for the Super Vegeta and Trunks unit, or Super Trunks, and the interesting thing about these guys are the awakening medals only took, I think, 10 to get these guys to the TUR status, so it makes me wonder if this is actually the final product. A lot of people are speculating that these guys could potentially get an Extreme Z awakening, but we'll find out, as more time goes on as to exactly what's going to happen. But this unit is definitely interesting to say the least, so let's go ahead and cover the information, then we'll go from there. Again, this is the free-to-play Super Strength, Super Vegeta, and Super Trunks. Leader skills, Vegeta's family category, Ki +2, HP attack and defense increase of 50%. The super attack will raise attack and cause supreme damage to the enemy. With the passive, it's an attack and defense increase of 70% at the start of the turn and weakens regeneration. So as you know, these guys do have the active skill where you can switch with Super Trunks, and you can activate this from the third turn from the start of battle, and obviously you can only do it once. In terms of links, these guys have Super Saiyan, that's 10% to attack. Royal Lineage is +1 Ki. Golden Warrior is +1 Ki, enemy's defense -2000. Saiyan Lineage is +1 Ki. Soul versus Soul is weakens regeneration and +1 Ki. Prepare for battles +2 Ki, and then Shattering the Limit is also +2 Ki. These guys fall into the full power Vegeta's family and Super Saiyan category. Again, max stats, HP is 9656. Attack is 10,640 and defense is 7,446. 12 key multipliers 140%. Now these guys do have the active skill of pretty much switching or swapping, so let's go ahead and take a look at Super Trunks. The weird thing about this guy is the super attack is raising attack for one turn along with causing supreme damage, so you no longer have the ability to stack attack once you initiate the active skill. So be very conscious of that when you're going through the battles. Now in terms of the passive skill, it does change where attack and defense increase of 120% at the start of turn. However, attack and defense will decrease by 10% with each turn pass, a maximum up to 80% reduction, along with weakening regeneration. So this is more like one of those ace in the hole trump cards that you want to hold off until the end of the battle, and then initiate the active skill and then get that 120% boost and try to finish up the battle as soon as possible, along with stacking the attack from the Super Vegeta state. So that's really the interesting thing about this unit is you definitely do want to raise the attack and continue to stack as much as possible early on in the battle toward the midpoint, and then once you get closer to the end of battle, you could probably, do the active skill, swap with Super Trunks, and then get that full 120%. Hopefully in, 1 or 2 turns, you can finish off the enemy. But you will see up to an 80% reduction to attack and defense the longer the battle goes out. So, if you're expecting a longer, dragged out type of battle, definitely don't, use the active skill early on. That's probably the best advice for that one. Which honestly makes sense, because in the manga and anime, once Super Trunks fights Perfect Cell, quickly find out the Super Trunks, that version is pretty much no chance against Cell, and Cell's pretty much explaining that you're able to gain explosive power and strength, but at the same time you're compromising speed out of that. That's why you can't really match the maker, so to speak. So I get the fact that they did apply a 10% reduction to attack and defense for every turn passed, but it'll be interesting to see what the final product is, if in fact it is or not. Like I said, a lot of people are saying these guys, along with potentially the free-to-play Goku and Gohan unit that should be coming out once the 300 million download celebration begins, maybe they'll have an Extreme Z Awakening along with the current stats they have. We'll have to see what happens with that, but this is definitely a unique and interesting unit. They did introduce a brand new active skill mechanic where you're essentially just switching with the unit. So I think it begs the question, like, down the road, what kind of similar units you could see with this type of mechanic. So, you know, the opportunities are pretty much boundless at this point. So, you know, we'll have to find out what all kind of brand new setups we'll expect in the future. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But either way, these guys aren't bad. You know, at the very least, you do get a 70% to attack and defense at the start of turn, even from the non-active state, along with the ability to raise attack. So these aren't going to be like the tremendous power hitters by any means, but they have a pretty decent attack and defense boost overall, and you can stack the attack for a couple of turns. You know, the other thing I did forget to mention is for this particular showcase, I did test a level 10 additional attack and level 10 critical setup. I'm probably honestly going to be going with the, what was it, I think it was level 6 additional attack, level 14 criticals. If I remember correctly, I actually made the change after recording this because that's initially what I wanted to do anyway. Given that information, the maxed amount of levels you can give toward additional attack is level 10. And as you can see throughout the video, additional attacks really didn't kick in. It could just be having some very bad luck with RNG, but at the same time, even with level 10, that equates to about a 20% chance. Even if you do activate additional attack, it doesn't necessarily guarantee that it'll be a super attack as well. So, you know, do keep in mind when you are working through the potential system, you know, what's it worth? You know, is it worth having a balanced approach like level 10 across the board? Or is it better to focus a little bit more on criticals? In my opinion, and this is pretty much, you know, my own personal bias, but I think a little bit higher levels toward critical is probably a good approach. So do keep in mind this is pretty much a level 10 across the board setup except for evasion. Evasion levels are pretty much kept at level 0 for this showcase anyway. So again, maybe it's just bad RNG, but I rarely saw additional supers kick in, let alone additional attacks, period. So again, that's definitely something to consider when you're building out the potential system. But overall, I mean, you know, we'll see what happens. Maybe once the Goku and Gohan unit come out, they might announce an Extreme Z Awakening. Now, this is all purely speculation at this point, but you know, like, it almost feels like maybe this isn't the finished product. You know what I mean? Like, it almost comes across that way. But maybe it's just because it's such a unique unit with the new active skill mechanic that it just comes across that way. So again, this is purely from a speculation standpoint, so don't expect that to happen 100%. So as more time goes on, like I said, we'll find out. But it'll be interesting to see regardless what happens. And honestly, the Goku and Gohan unit should have a similar active skill mechanic where pretty much you know, it switches over to just Gohan. So we'll see what kind of you know, super attack abilities and passive skill abilities they have. And you know, maybe it might be worth testing both the units put together on the same team. You know, we'll see how that goes. At the very least, they should be available on the Super Saiyan category. And then, you know, if we get a brand new category based on the release of, you know, the LRs, we'll find out if there's actually going to be a Cell Saga or Cell Games type category introduced. But, you know, we'll have to find out. I did try to diversify the link and rotation setup to where you do see support units on rotation, as well as those where you don't have any supporting units on the rotations, just so you get diversified set of rotations where you can actually see on different scenarios how this unit does. So again, this is 100% potential for the Super Strength, Super Vegeta, and Super Trunks unit. They are free to play units, so you know, if you're on JP, go ahead and start the grind. They're available right now. Alright, hopefully you guys enjoy the video. As always, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys later.